And it's time to really get real about what's happening and how we're going to survive this crap and how we're going to change it. So we're going to change all this crap, right? We're going to just change everything. And that is because we have the power and we might not know it yet. You might not know in which ways you actually have your power. Anybody want to take a guess? Well, I mean, we know certain ways in which we've been powerful, don't we? We've taken to the streets. Last March was 20 million of us, right? That's a lot of freaking people. Oh, I know. In the regular news, they did not report that. They said no. They said, oh, 7 million. Mm-mm. You got to look at your news on YouTube so that you can, Midas Touch. There's a whole bunch of them, actually. There's just a whole bunch. And so you got to take a look at all these things and see what's really going on, because we are in a time when everything is going to come out. Isn't that fun? Everything is coming out. Now, it's not pretty. We don't like what we're seeing. Jesus, I won't even say one of the things that I heard the other day because I'm just afraid you'll be as upset by it as I am. And you don't need to. You don't need to be upset by this crap. Because the thing is, the reason all of this is up in our faces is because it's getting cleaned out. And I will tell you exactly why if you want to know. I will tell you exactly what's going on. All right. Now, I've got TikTok here and I've got Substack here. And I don't know about Substack in terms of, I see how many people have visited, but it doesn't tell me how many people are still here. Hey, Age of Aquarius. Always wanted to meet you. Always wanted to meet the Age of Aquarius. And here we are. So if anybody's still here on Substack, let me know. Chris. Hi, Chris. How are you? Oh, look, somebody gave me a heart. Maybe it was Chris. What I usually do at the start of these reads is I do a quick tarot read on how we are doing as a collective and where we are going. Understand that I do not believe in magical thinking, but I believe in magic. I believe in the magic of our emotions, of our energy, and of our collective ability to change things literally overnight. Yep, literally overnight. So we don't quite understand this. We've all been raised in the same culture, which says you are human only and you have no power. And this is what we have taken in. Hi, Julie. Hi, honey. This is what we've taken in. Oh, I'm powerless. There's nothing I can do. I cured 40 years of clinical depression in 5 days with an awareness of emotion, energy, and clearing the mind of these ridiculous beliefs that we've been given. Miss Lightfoot. Hi, baby. That's my best friend over there. And here is TikTok, and here is Substack. Cool beans. I love it. So let's do a quick read on how we're doing as a collective with all the things that are going on in our world. Page of Wands. We are learning to sing a new song. We are trying very hard to learn to sing a new song. Do you know how enculturated we are to think that we don't have power? We are so enculturated that even the thought of, I don't have to work for somebody else, I could work for myself, gives us agita. It gives us we freak out because there's a whole social setting of we need mommy and daddy. We need somebody who's in charge. And we tell ourselves, oh, I wouldn't know how to do anything. It's not true. It's not true. I'm here to tell you it's not true. So, but that's the collective is looking for its footing, actively looking for our footing in this new era. And that's a good thing. That's a very smart thing to do. This was the cross one yesterday, actually, when I did these readings. And the High Priestess is the divine feminine, and that's the emotion, the intuition, the part of us that knows more than just what the brain knows, okay? And so she stands with us, and we're starting to get it. We're starting to go ahead and get it. That we can allow ourselves to feel, we can allow ourselves to be intuitive, we can depend on that as an actual force. Did you know that? Your emotion, your intuition, your inspiration, your set point is a vibrational thing that you can actually depend on because it's telling you things. It's giving you clues every single minute as to what direction your life is going in. That's how it works. It's really phenomenal. So we've got this. We've got this intuition and this inspiration with us. Above us is we are so trying to change the way we're thinking. And it's actually happening. The sword has been used. We are seeing stuff that we never thought in our lives we'd ever see. And so we're starting to stand in the King of Swords, which is the one who understands their own mind, the one who understands what's going on. And look at our entire country. I think we are starting to see past the politics. We're starting to see past the politics. And what is underneath us is the sun reversed. And that means we are starting to awaken as a collective. We are starting to awaken, and it's inevitable that we will. Isn't that exciting? Holy Jesus, like that's incredible. That's an incredible thing. Came out reversed. For the way I read cards, it means it's our inner stuff is happening. Oh, we are so going in the right way, you guys. We got used to thinking this specific way in the past, which was here's how things are, and there is justice, and there is wrongness, and there is everything in between, and we can just be considerate and thoughtful, and things will be okay. That, of course, has sort of cracked our brains, and we're running around going, well, that didn't work. Like it never worked for a lot of people, but it's really not been working. But the card that comes up for our near future as a collective is a new beginning, and it's actually internal. This is the Fool card. This is the Fool card. Okay. But it's in reverse, which in the way I read means it's internal to us. It's an internal process, not something happening externally to us as humans. And the Fool card is a beautiful, beautiful card because it means that we are willing to take a risk. We are moving into a new way of being internally. And that's what we've been being told. Hi, Datha. It's what we've been being told is happening astrologically as well. We've been being told that, especially starting on the 17th of February, when is that? 4 days from now, we're actually going into an astrological period that has never been tracked before. And think about that. I don't know much about astrology. Let me be clear. I'm not an astrologer. But if you watch the astrologers on YouTube long enough, you will see that what they know is how these patterns go, how these planets align, what they do for us vibrationally, what they do against us vibrationally, what we're up against. It's really, really quite interesting. And on the 17th, what's happening is an alignment of planets at a starting point of the of Aries, I believe it is. Like I said, I'm not an astrologer. I'm just repeating what I know. At the very starting place of Aries, and it is going to be a reset for us. It's going to be a reset from the inside for us. Anything that you don't want to be anymore, be conscious of what that is. I'm sorry, TikTok, by the way, I don't know why this red shit is all over me. I mean, I look like I have red all over it's just weird. I've reset it. I've reset the, it's got some kind of filter on and I tried to reset it and it's not working. So when you get to the 17th, like before we get to the 17th, start thinking about what are the parts of you that you no longer want to be. Okay. Hold on. I'm going to plug something in here. There we go. A little bit of light will help. Okay. God, that's just weird. TikTok. Weird. Okay. More about us as a collective. We are definitely starting to stand together and to look out and go, where are we going? Let's plan our way forward. Let's not just bumble our way forward or sleep our way forward. Let's actually look. Let's make this happen. Okay? That is a really, really good thing for us to be doing. And the environment in which we're doing it is we have a world of possibilities at our disposal. As a collective, we have a world of possibilities at our disposal. We are going in the right way. There is nothing to make you think that this is the end of all things. It is not the end of all things. This is the beginning of all things. That's what we came here to do. We came here to be part of all of this new beginning. And, perhaps on the other side, we were like, yeah, I know that to my human self, this is going to feel crappy. I know that, but I'm still so excited about being part of the building of this start of this new age that I'll take it. Our hopes and our fears. Oh boy. Our hopes and our fears are the devil card. Isn't that interesting? That is very interesting. Now, the devil card can mean structure, and it can also mean, of course, really bad stuff. And so I would say that in this context, with where it falls in the reading, we're just afraid of more bad stuff, which makes sense. We don't want more bad stuff. We're tired. We want some good stuff. Um, but the outcome for all of us is a very simple card. I love this. It's the Two of Swords, which simply means like making a decision. We're going to be at a crossroads. We're coming into a crossroads. Do I want to adhere to an old way of thinking that said I'm powerless and I have no way to make this work? Or do I want to move towards a way of thinking that is, let me understand how it is that I could be powerful alone and as part of the human collective? And that's a beautiful thing. So we're going in a good direction. We are afraid of more bad stuff. That makes sense. But once you know that you can be part of making sure that there's less bad stuff just by shifting your energy, suddenly you have a lot more control than you thought you did. And that's phenomenal. That's very, very interesting. Yeah. So, how is anybody doing? Anybody needing a tarot reading? I'll pull a couple cards for you. Is anybody struggling with how to look at things? Because honestly, I understand now how this is going to work. I mean, I understand now that it can work, that we are simply breaking down the old for the brand new. And I want to share with you how I figured that. I didn't figure it out. I was watching a YouTube video. And I also have to get this damn filter off of here. I don't understand what it's doing. I truly, truly don't. Um, you'd be amazed. I look like a drunk. I've got this big mark of red here, and I think I've got like extra. They've got extra makeup on my whatever you call those. Hello, lovely Lisa. Hello, bread man. Um, I'm Lori. I'm with the Goodbye Good Girl Project. Hi, AJ. And I just finished doing a reading for the collective about how we're doing at this point in time and whether we're moving towards good stuff or bad stuff. Let me tell you, spoiler alert, we're moving towards good. We are afraid of there being more bad stuff. This doesn't sound mysterious or like you need a tarot reading, right? But nevertheless, this is what the cards just said. Also, that we are starting to come into an actual internal transformation of who we are. So that's a different understanding of who am I? What am I? Am I really only human? And no, if you've listened to me, watched me at all, you'll know that you are anything but only human. You are energy first and human second. Um, and it's an amazing thing. We've never been taught it. We've never learned what the hell it means. We have had a lot of spirituality in our lives, but we also have not had it be practical. So it's become just more dogma. It's just become more dogma, just like any religious dogma. And that won't serve us. It doesn't matter if it's religious dogma or it's spiritual dogma. It's dogma. And that means that you don't get to use it in a way that you can actually transform your life for the better. And that's what we want, right? We leave religion, like a lot of people leave religion, go into spirituality going, that's crap. Let me go here. It's freedom. I can think for myself. I can consider new things. But in the end result, if we don't come to ourselves and go, I have to, for myself, find those things that seem to make a difference in my life, then we're just, playing by somebody else's rules still. And this is not the age in which we can continue to do that. We can't do that. The entire structure is being pulled down. I was told back in the 1990s that this was going to happen. Swear to God, there was a woman I met at a yoga retreat. She at the time was probably as old as I am now. And this is probably 30 years ago. And she said to me, well, all of the social systems are going to fall apart, are just going to go bye-bye. And I said, what does that mean? She goes, oh, everything, banking and social and religious and spiritual and political and blah, blah, blah. It's all going to go boom. So it's the 1990s, right? And I'm looking at her like, what are you talking about? And that's what I said to her. I said, what does that look like? I'm like, forewarned is forearmed, baby. She's like, we don't know. We just know it's going to happen after 2012. Which was the year rather, that people were told there's going to be so much light coming to the planet that then we're going to, hi, Miss Constance. Thanks for being here, babe. Thank you, Clee. That's when we were told that there was going to be so much light coming in that the darkness was going to be exposed in order to be washed away. Well, it's been a lot of years since the 1990s, hasn't it? And yet here we're still in this shit. We're sitting here going, why am I still in this shit? Why are we still here? Because it takes a great deal to get a consciousness shift. It takes so much for us to become conscious in a way that we have not been conscious before. This is super huge. Have you ever had an epiphany? Have you ever had this like, oh my God, I just realized something? That's an epiphany, and you couldn't plan for that. That just happens when you are out of the way. That's when you're kind of chill and you just realize something. You go, holy crap, or somebody tells you something and it goes into your head in a new way and you go, oh my God, had no idea. That's a consciousness shift, and epiphanies make it happen like that. But if you're talking about an entire planet shifting consciousness, this is something that is multi-layered AF. Wouldn't you say? Multi-layered AF. Incredible. Oh, thanks for the like, AJ. Could you guys share this out for me? Let's let more people know that they're not alone during this crazy time and that things are going to go fine. We're going to get through this. Not only that, it's way better than just getting through. It's going to be, we are building this very moment as we sit in meetings like this, as we sit in gatherings like this with online families who are saying, I want it to be better and I want to be a part of making it better. As we do that, we become the builders. We are acting as the builders of this new earth that we're walking into. And the reason I can say that with such confidence is because I understand what higher energy does. And when I say higher energy, all I mean is something slightly higher than whatever you're feeling at any given moment. So if you're feeling depressed or you're feeling hopeless, if you can ratchet up to just like giving yourself a minute of relief, I want you to know that because you've done that with great deliberateness, that energy, which was already 10,000 times stronger than your darker feelings, you've now given it super fuel because you've done it deliberately. And now you're going, holy crap, I was just able to give myself relief, not the relief of tuning out. Okay? Not the relief of let me go and eat too much food or watch movies. No, this is sitting you with your feelings of despair and craziness and rage and all of that we're feeling these days, and being able to shift it because you choose to, not with brute force, but bringing in something just 1% better feeling to join what you're feeling already and watch that lighter feeling usher out the dark. I am telling you that this is what the deal is. This is what the deal is. This is how I ushered out 40 years of clinical depression and anxiety. 40, 40 in 5 days. I'm not kidding. But we have to first be very aware that we have emotions, feelings, senses, and we have to start to get to know ourselves. We have to start being so damn afraid of ourselves. And sometimes you can't do that alone, right? Sometimes you have to go get a therapist or a preacher or a whoever you or a best friend, right? Or a healer. We don't have to do everything so freaking alone. Please, guys, share this out. Let's let more people know they're not alone. All right. My name's Lori. I'm with the Goodbye Good Girl Project, and I help people, all kinds of people, and particularly women, see themselves from the truth of who they are and break all of the social bullshit that's been put in our heads, social, religious, spiritual, whatever the stuff is that's making us crazy. I help people get it gone by seeing themselves as they really are. And I give talks and I do workshops. And right now I'm trying to plug in my phone so that I do not lose Substack, which is over here. Tonglen meditation. Oh, Bartholomew, I've heard of that concept. I didn't know the name. Um, it whatever helps, I'm a fan of. You know, if you're not hurting somebody else and you're just helping yourself, go for Tonglen meditation, right? But I've heard of the breathing. Are you sure you didn't mean that backwards? Breathing in the good and breathing out the bad. That's what I've heard of. Is that my problem with that meditation? Um, Tonglen is the opposite. Why? Why would anybody do the opposite? Hi, Mia. Help me understand. Why would somebody do the opposite? Why would you want to breathe in the bad? That's very counter to what I would want in my body and in my nervous system. So no, I hadn't heard of that before now. Does anybody purifying negativity? I I see a basic problem. What's being said over here on TikTok by my new friend Bartholomew is that there is a kind of meditation where you breathe in the bad and you breathe out the good. And it's supposed to be about purifying negativity. There's some basic problems with that, Bartholomew. We are a vibrational system. And if you want to breathe in bad, that means you want to set your settings very low. We are not purifiers by nature. We are purifiers by deliberateness. So that's what I think about that. There's no way that I'm going to breathe negativity into me. I already have enough sort of vibrational settings in here, whatever going on that I need to let them out. So not let them out. That's just so wrong. I need to transform them. There it is. I need to transform them. So no, I think that's a terrible idea myself. Okay. Um, how are you doing, Bartholomew? How is this particular and Mia and anybody else who's here? Wish, if you're still here. Um, Hi Marcella, welcome to the party. Hello, Carrie. We're just talking about where our power is and how we go through this particular time and transform ourselves and the situation at hand at the same time. Because the one thing that we do not know about is experientially, we don't realize how powerful we are. I am not even talking about what you can go out and do using just your body and your voice and your hands. I'm talking about your energy. I'm talking about um I'm talking about okay. Bartholomew says it's not for everyone, it's about cleaning more than yourself. Well, I don't see how it can clean you if you're making yourself full of negative energy. I don't understand. But hey, I'll look it up. No, I won't. I'm sorry. I won't lie to you. I won't look it up. It just sounds terrible to me. So, no. Um, and I just got this card just popped out, the sun card just popped out at me, and, what I feel when I look at this card right now is, it's like, it's telling me, "You're doing it one day at a time." Marcella, brilliant. Yes, that's absolutely key, absolutely key. Um, I feel like the light is being confirmed in me with this, and so that Tonglen, not for me. Um, oh, I see. You bring it in, acknowledge it, turn it light, then let it back into the collective. Thank you for that explanation. Um, okay, that's better. That's better than what I thought it was. And I'm gonna say, how do you know if you've turned it? How do you know? How would you know if you've turned it from negative to positive? For me, um, when it comes to spiritual awakening, no, I didn't ask you if it takes practice. I say, how do you know? Because here's the thing. I can think that I'm doing all kinds of shit, but if I don't feel it, if I don't experience it, if I don't experience it with all of me, then it's not real for me. Because everything, hi, finest, because everything that I have worked through over 40 years of spiritual and personal growth, I've tried so many things and I've, the different kinds of purification like that. Hey, finest. Um, okay, that's totally fair. I get you. And so for me, I want like that's great if I'm going to try to be a servant of the divine and like try to help people and all that, but am I helping myself? So that's what I would ask you. Are you transforming your own negativity or are you getting an ego buzz from I'm saving the world? Of course. Of course improving the world helps you, but you you the reason that I love the 1% solution that I teach is because you can actually experience it. It's not just faith. It's not faith without experience. It's experience. It's being able to it's you can do whatever you want and anything that's positively intended is always good. It's a good thing. But if you really but if you really want to help, transform yourself. Transform yourself. Yep, Marcella, yes. It's and it's so something happened for me. Some of you already know this story, so apologies if you've heard it 5,000 times. But I did cure myself of 40 years of clinical depression and anxiety in 5 days. And when I say I transformed myself, what I mean is, um, sitting in this intense self-loathing and depression and helplessness and hopelessness, um, I was able to bring the light in. I was able to bring a slightly better feeling thought in, different thoughts, different feelings without pushing the dark out, without me transforming it. Do you understand what I'm saying? It wasn't me making it different. It was me allowing the energetic truth of if you bring the light in, if you bring a little piece of light in, it's 10,000 times stronger than a whole room full of dark. That's cool, Bartholomew. That's very cool. I agree. Mental health is a huge thing. And the thing we've not been told is how much control we have. Control's probably the wrong word, but we've not been told how much input we have to the nature of how that impacts us and that we can actually shift it. I didn't know that. I mean, I really didn't know that. And So I teach it so that people can try it. Because if you don't know it's there, you can't try it unless you too stumble across it like I did. It's a very jarring realization. If Bartholomew, are you talking about realizing that you have some control, some input, and all that? Because yes, yes, it's an intense and absolutely okay. It's an intense thing. Now I was so down below the water surface. I was so far down that coming up, and realizing that I no longer felt like dying. Like, I no longer felt like dying was inevitable that very night, but I came up to where I was still depressed AF, but I was not in danger, and I hadn't made that happen. I hadn't said to myself, "You're now gonna feel better." No, instead, yeah, eye-opening awareness is a good phrase for that. It was like, here's this crap that I'm feeling, and here's a little tiny piece of something that when I look at it, when I focus on it, when I feel it in my body, it feels like a little bit of relief. And then focusing on that and going, "Oh my god, that's amazing." And then realizing that after just 10 minutes, I was no longer in danger. Do you know what that means? Like going from "I'm suicidal" to "I'm no longer in trouble, but I better keep going because I'm still depressed AF." Do you understand how big that is? Instead of fighting for the rest of the night, as I had done for so many years. "Hi, morning star, honey. How are you?" "Hey, cats, cut it out." Cats running around here. Rah. Um, I don't believe in what will be, will be. I don't believe in that. Mm-mm. It has not proven to it's not proven to be true. It's not a truth. We create. You're good. Ugh, claim that victory, girl. So, yeah, if we go, well, it is what it is, or, it will be what it will be, that means you've just ushered yourself out of the room. You've just ushered the entire human race out of the frickin' room. "Oh, there's a god on another planet who's handing us this is the way it's gonna be." God, garbage, garbage. It's not true. That is man-made understanding of divinity and religion, and that's the creation of religion. It's not the way it is. It's not the way it really works. If that were the way it really works, all these prayers over the millennia, prayers for peace over the millennia might have fucking done something. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, let's get practical. You met yourself at 45. Good for you. Good for you. You can't control another healing. Mhm. Jilly, that puts it exactly how I feel about thank you for putting it that way. Jilly says, saying what will be is complicit to surrender. The only kind of surrender that I'm all hot and bothered and happy to be hot and bothered about is the surrender to my own allowing of goodness coming in. Yeah, that's fine. We can agree to disagree. I don't have a problem with that perception at all. I think we have all different. That's fine. Um, yeah, and that's the other thing. Thanks for that, Morning Star. So, whatever I'm saying, you're hearing through your experience, right? You're hearing through your lens. You're hearing through your set of beliefs, and some of it you won't hear, some of it you will hear, some of it you'll hear the way I meant it, and some of it you won't hear the way I meant it, because we are communicating through these veils of reality. This is why there is humility in accepting what you can and can't do. There is. But I call it having double vision. I call it having double vision perception. So let's say right now, like I'm the age I am, and I cannot, in my mind, like I cannot, in my consciousness, think of going out and learning how to do um, God, what? Because I don't think in terms of limitations very much. But if I thought, okay, well, I'm gonna go backpacking across Europe. No, I am not. I'm not gonna do that. Sounds exhausting. It's exhausting because of the age I am. I'm like, yeah, I kind of did that at one point. I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that again. Um, so powerless for me is, yeah, Jilly. Yeah, I know. I did it a little bit with a friend of mine, and even then it was exhausting. It's not my thing. It's not my thing. It is my thing. It would be my thing to go around Europe and meet people and talk to people but I'm not gonna be sitting in any freaking hostel anymore. I'm not going to a hostel. I'm going to a hotel. Thank you. And I'm gonna take my time and I'm not gonna be, oh my God. Oh, let's go to Holland. Morningstar, let's just go. That sounds great. And so here's the double vision I was talking about. At the one time, you're like, I am not gonna do XYZ because let's say you broke a leg. You're like, my current reality is I broke a leg. I can't go backpacking across Europe. But simultaneously, you can hold the vision of you having an incredibly fabulous time at different places in Europe. And now, why is that important to do that? Like, what good is that? You're sitting here with a broken freaking leg. How does that help you? I'll tell you exactly how that helps you. Your energy is what is creating your reality. And what I mean by that, I like to disabuse people of any like weird shit. This means it's physics. The energy in which we sit right now is the energy of which we are created. We are not really separate from this air around us. So mote it be. I'm with you, Morningstar. And thank you, Jilly. So when I'm depressed, as I was for 40 years, then the possibilities that are going to vibrationally be attracted towards me and me towards them is going to be of a different color, a different nature, a different flavor. Choose your word. But it's going to be different than if I am in a state of generally I'm calm, I'm generally positive outlook, like anything could be possible, including the good stuff. I'm not talking about everything's always going to be perfect. I'm just talking about if you're in a better space of like, I can handle things. I know whatever comes my way, I'll deal. And I know that I'm not alone in this universe because I used to think I was. And, when you're in that place, you're vibrating at a different level. You're vibrating differently and you have different families of vibrational experiences and possibilities out there that are being attracted to you or repelled by you because of how you're resonating. And a lot of that comes from your emotional set point, and a lot of it comes from your consciousness and where you want to go. Where do you want to go? I don't get to say. Yeah, you fucking do. You do. You get to say. This is very foreign to us and pisses us the hell off because we've spent how many decades going nowhere? Like, "Oh, I'm gonna be this, and I'm gonna go there, and I'm gonna have this experience," and then it doesn't happen. And then somebody like me comes along and goes, "You can do anything. You can be anything." And you're like, "Fuck you, bitch. It's not working for me." I understand. And I absolutely love you if you're sitting there going, "Fuck you, bitch," because what that means to me is that you're thinking for yourself. You're trying to find what really works for you. You're probably trying to find what really works. Because seeking is not trying to find another piece of dogma that you can stick to that maybe this rule following will help me. No. Do you want the real truth? Do you want the real honest to God truth about what spirituality truly is when you take away the dogma, when you take away the man-made religious bullshit, and you get to the actual meaning of stuff? Oh, perception, that's a whole different thing. Yeah, that's a really good thing. It's really good not to let shit interfere with your peace of mind. Um, what happens when you do have something interfere with your peace of mind? You know, now once upon a time, I went completely broke, homeless. I was still mentally ill at that time, still fully clinical depression, anxiety, the whole thing. And this was in my 50s, okay? Broken homeless in your 50s, not what you really want to do. This is not something you go, this is great. I'm so glad I got to do this. So now you're on a different journey, aren't you? Now you're like, okay, wait, I've ended up in a situation. It is back to zero. But here's the thing that's interesting, Marcella, and thank you for that. That's beautiful. It is back to zero. But it's the ways in which it's back to zero. So, in a way, it's like clearing your throat. You have no idea what's going to come out next, right? You're like, well, shit. No money, no home. What am I going to fricking do? Well, if you can take one step forward, you're going to start to discover, although you may not know it right then. Right, Morningstar? I know. I know. I know. Oh, Bartholomew, that's quite interesting. That's quite interesting. Hey, sometimes we just have to move, we have to do backwards stuff. We have to, that's not backwards. We have to do, look, my business is called the Goodbye Good Girl Project for a reason. We've got to give up following rules that don't support us, right? There's a lot of wisdom and there's a lot of light out in the world, but you have to exercise your discernment. You have to say, if I look at this particular thing that somebody told me I should think or do or be, is it what I want? Is there some way in which that might make sense for me? Oh my God, women are always expected to be the emotional mediators, of course. Thinking on a thinking at all, really. It's just, I find us humans so fascinating. I find us fascinating. There's so much to us that when we speak, we say things that we didn't even really know we were saying. Like, I watch so many women especially speak in ways that they have no idea that the language they're speaking is of complete and total disempowerment. They don't have any idea. For them, I just heard one today, which is why it's on top of mind. I heard a friend talking to this other woman, and this other woman she was exhibiting all of the linguistic tendencies that women and men, by the way, just got to give us all the right environment, will do when they don't feel strong in themselves. So one of them is the uplift at the end of a sentence. So instead of saying, I'm going to the store, you hear how my voice goes down? I'm going to the store. That is a declaration. Here's what I'm doing. This is what's happening. No problem. I'm going to the store. Boom. End of discussion. Okay, you're going to the store. See you later. Okay, bye. If instead I go, I'm going to the store, that implies a question. I'm going to the store? You can reasonably say to somebody who says that, are you asking me or are you telling me? I don't understand. That would be fair. I'm going to the store and then I'm going to go get some shoes and then I'm going to go to my friend's house and maybe I'll be back by 11. No. You've just asked me for permission, so I'm just going to go, no. And you're going to go, what do you mean, no? It was a profound acting teacher. Oh my God, yes. We think we're not a tonal language, but in this way, we so are. We so are. The other thing this woman was saying over and over was the word like. Now, I know this is not a teenager. This woman is not a teenager. I think she's in her 30s, 40s, something like that. And it's like, it's like we should maybe go and like, And I was hoping I wouldn't, like, piss him off, like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no power in that at all. Absolutely no power. And what you can do, the quickest way that you can feel your own where your power is and where you need more is to take a powerless way of speaking. Say a phrase that feels powerless to you. Like, here's one. Do you think maybe you could possibly consider giving me a raise? That's not a power statement. That's not even a power question. Do you think possibly maybe you could consider giving me a raise? Yeah, no. No. You are showing in that wording and in that tone and in that sort of maybe, possibly, consider, you're saying, "I don't have faith in my own self in some way." In some way. And the other person will not have faith in you as you say that. If instead you say, "I'd like to talk to you about the" what's the word I'm looking for? "About what I've been doing here at work." "Oh, sure. I'd love to give it, Jilly. Absolutely. Sling it in there." Um, Instead you say, "I would like to have a discussion with you about my job because I'm doing a lot of things that are outside my job description, and I would like to discuss compensation with you." Because compensation's a good word because it doesn't only mean money. It can also mean being promoted. It can mean a bunch of things. When I was hired, I was informed that I would be receiving a raise yearly, and that date is now. So, in order to be powerful around something like that, well, first of all, how are you feeling now is the question. I mean, that's our starting point, okay? We have to become aware of how we feel and be honest about it, and it's okay. Please understand that you have been brainwashed. Brainwash is not just mind, it's your body, it's your emotions. We've all been raised in this culture that says women should not expect much, that we should expect to have less than men, and it's true, we do. And, like, we're coming out of it, but people do seem to hate acknowledging that we feel things, and it's because we've been brainwashed. Oh, don't feel. Don't be so emotional. That's too weak. That's too feminine. Well, I'm sorry, but the reason they say that is because the feminine is so much more powerful than the masculine. And I'm talking about the brain. I'm talking about the brain. I'm not talking about women or whatever. I'm talking about the brain. This side of your brain, left side of your brain, masculine. Strategy, goal, thinking things, like, let's be practical. All good. Biologically, Jilly, you got it. Do you know how they always say you're only using 10% of your brain? You guys heard that too? Like, I've heard it so often through my life. You're only using 10% of your brain. That's exactly right, Angel. Yes, yes, yes. They can't control it. That's right. Exactly. But you know what? They can't even control their own emotions. Anyway, um, do you know why they say you're only using 10% of your brain? It's actually literal. Who knew? The left side of your brain, the masculine side, is 10%, makes up 10% of your brain. The rest of it, the 90% of the rest of it is your spiritual connection, your intuition, your emotional connectivity, and oh my God. And it's wild because people are like, "Oh, please God, be with me. Please God, be with." How the fuck you gonna feel God with you if you can't feel? How the fuck you gonna feel God if you can't feel? Now, I get exercised about this because I suffered a lot being somebody who feels frickin' everything. I suffered a lot. Oh, Angel, that's a really good one. It's the basis for revolution. It is, and then we have to do the discernment piece, because if we all ran out into the street tomorrow, all however many millions of us there are in this country, and said, "We're gonna tear down this old regime," we run the risk of having the so-called government bring people out with guns to unalive us. We don't want that. That's not helping. It feels good to the teenager part of us, to the part that goes, "This is bullshit. Let's go, let's go, let's go." But we have to go take that rage, take that energy, take that emotional, all of the emotions, the good ones too. Like, I can see a better world. I can see a better country. I could see this. I could see that. And we have to go, now let's get down to freaking business and let's figure out how to make this happen. And that's something I wanted to talk about today, actually. So, you guys, we've just created the most amazing arc. How cool are you? How cool are we together? By the way, please share this out. Let's get other people in here so they know they're not alone. Okay? Okay. Um, I was listening to somebody on YouTube. Oh, and please keep hitting the like button or the hearts, because it gets me out on the FYP, and I would appreciate it. So thank you. Let's see. Oh, by the way, I've got Substack here and YouTube, not YouTube. Substack here, which will go out to YouTube, and then I've got TikTok here. So that's why I'm like, yeah. Yeah, making emotions a sign of weakness. Right, and we've been locked down in shame for having emotions, feelings, senses. I mean, I saw it in an episode of Major Crimes. Teresa, hi babe. Hello, my dear. Um, where somebody said, "Where'd you get that from? Your intuition?" I thought, "Fuck you. Yeah, I got it from my intuition." You think just because you don't know that you're doing it, that it's not real? Like, are you out of your mind? Miss Teresa, so good to see you, girl. So I'm watching this thing on YouTube the other day, and I had been thinking for so long, how is this going to even be possible to get everybody to wake up? We've got the MAGA nuts over here. We've got the Democrats the traditional Democrats who are going, let's play nice. We've got the people like me who are going, excuse me, but this is effed up. And by the way, there's this thing called energy and vibrational frequency, and the limitlessness of the human experience and ability. You're like, how is that all gonna like? How are we gonna all be able to suddenly wake up? How is that ever gonna work? And so I thought about it and thought about it. And then the other day, I was on a YouTube and I fricking got it from that YouTube. So there's a woman named Susan Lynn, Lynn. I love this lighting. Isn't this cool? I feel like I'm about to like ascend or something. Um, so Susan Lynn is a psychic medium who talks about what do you call politics. And she's been doing it for many years, and she's fun to watch. Yeah, Jilly, if I start ascending, send out the dog with the brandy around its neck, like send alcohol. Um, and this woman started talking about, by the way, you guys, I'm in Ohio. Where are all of you from? Where are you all living? Um, she started talking about the E-files, right? Pennsylvania, beautiful place, Pennsylvania. We are built to survive, Bartholomew. You bet your ass. Yes. Yes, yes, and yes. Northern California. Shauna, I used to live in Southern California. Nope, I'm wrong. I'm lying. I'm lying. I lived in the Bay Area. Yeah, it's a beautiful place, Pennsylvania. I used to go there, oh, with my parents and Wisconsin. Aha, Maryland. Look at us. We're representing. I love that we're from all over. I freaking love this. Thank you and welcome to the family. I consider community to be family-like because people are they're gonna stick around and go, "Yep, Georgia." Do I have to sing the song? Because that's the song that came up in my head, of course, and it's a great song. So the people who wanna be part of a community where everybody is welcome, where it doesn't matter to me whether you are a multicolored person, a multi-sexed person, a multi ideological person. What matters to me is, are you open-minded? Are you considerate? Georgia on my mind. Yeah, baby. Are you somebody who wants to grow? Are you somebody who likes out of the box ideas? Because that's who I am. You're not going to stick around if you don't like that because you're not going to like me. You're not going to want to hear what I have to say. But the people who stick, and there are a certain number of people who stick, and we get to be family. We get to come together here. And it's so freaking important. Like, if you disagree with me, disagree with me. But if you're going to start screaming at me, fuck off. I'm going to block you. If you can have a conversation, you're a rational human and good. We're good to go. If you can be honest about the fact, Lori, you're triggering me and I'm feeling like blah, 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 we can have a conversation about that too. And vice versa. That's the kind of family, human family we need to be. That's who we need to be. I'm not going to always feel comfortable around you, and you're not always going to feel comfortable around me. It's called learning who each other is. But if you start to learn and you start to go, okay, well, I like that part. And I've had a conversation with her about that, and I didn't like it, and we agreed to disagree. And we're still good. What the hell more do we want? Truly, what else do we want? Oh, I know what we want. I know. We do. We want like perfection. I mean, you can't blame us for wanting perfection, can you? I mean, Disney is to blame. Let's just tell it like it is. Disney is to blame. There is that perfect mate. There's that perfect mate out there, and we're going to meet, and it's going to be perfection forever. And you know that can happen. You can have an amazing relationship, but even with an amazing relationship, still going to hit the wall sometimes. Okay, so where were we? I was talking about Shauna. I think that's kind of where we're headed. You also blame Disney. Yes. Yes, especially for the state of women. Um, for the oppression and for the internalization of I think that is where we're heading. So I didn't even get to the purpose of my damn story. I apologize. So I was watching this YouTube. I'm going to stop looking at the chat so I can just say the story and not get distracted by you guys because you're lovely. So I'm watching Susan Lin, and she has an astrologer on, and the astrologer is talking about the E-files. And here's what she said, basically, that made me have an understanding for the first time of how it could be in a practical way that everybody would wake up, or at least like 90% of us, you know what I mean? Like a ridiculous number. Excuse me, because there will always be people who don't want to. They're not ready. She said, the E-files are not just about who. It's not just about the names of the people who are animals. That gives animals a bad name. I apologize, animals. But do you know what I'm saying? It's not only about the revelation of who has been inhuman. And I'm sitting there on the edge of my seat going, so what is it? What is it? What is it? She goes, it's going to reveal the billionaire echelon structure that has been this country It's going to reveal that it's not immigrants and it's not emotion and it's not women and it's not it's these motherfuckers who are sitting there going, let us do like this and make all of you our puppets. And once you see that, you cannot go back and pretend that you don't understand it. You cannot go back and go, no, I think I could still stick with the rule of I can trust the people above me. No, you cannot. If you are awake even a little bit and you understand that what you're seeing is what was behind the curtain, pay no attention to that billionaire behind the curtain. When you pull that curtain back and you can see that. You can see what's really been happening, the control, the manipulation. And control is not the same as power. Power is feminine. Real power is generative. It's about birthing things and creating things and receiving things and then taking your masculine and doing something with it externally it's a whole different game. Control, on the other hand, is, hey, I've got the money and I'm going to make sure that I decide how this is all going to go. And I'm going to make sure that you're pissed off at immigrants. It's exactly like Oz, Christiane. Exactly. It's exactly like Oz. And especially in the Wicked movies. It's exactly that. And when you see it, and people don't want to see it, right? In the second movie, the people don't want to see it. And Elphaba knows that. And she's like, no, don't equip me. Don't make my name be better. Because these people, they're not ready. They won't believe you. That's where we've been since 2016, but now we're ready. And now the e-files are going so much deeper than I ever understood or considered into the actual control structure of our world. Do you get how big that is? Do you get how, even the people who've been going, I love Trump, they're going to look at this and go, what the ever love and hell is going on? Are you kidding me? You mean I've been busting my ass for 40 years to get to retirement because you're sitting up there with golden fucking palaces and deciding you want me to suffer? Yeah, that's not going to go down well. And the other thing that I like to mention on these lives is that we are in an evolutionary period. It is when, and I agree with you, Bartholomew, 100%. Yeah, it is now. I have felt, I've been sort of waiting, going, okay, how and when and all that. And then something sort of started to shift. And it became, okay, it's not just me. First I thought, oh, I'm alone in this. I really felt alone. I mean, I live alone anyway, so it was like, I don't know. And then the first King's Day March, no King's Day March. You know what I'm trying to say. And I went out there and it was a freaking love fest. And I'm like, hell yeah, baby. This is where it's at. Then and that was what was that supposed to be? 7 or 9 million people, something. And then the second one, and regular media said, oh, it was only 7 million. Fuck you all. It was 20 million. Ask Midas Touch, ask Don Lemon, ask, let's do some real counting. Danielle, hey, haven't seen you for a little while, babe. And then I was like, okay, so I'm not alone in this. And now, because I understand about the e-files, that it's not just about let's reveal a bunch of people. It's who the people are and what it's going to go into the money. We're going to get to follow the money. Oh my God. We're going to get to follow the money. Holy crap. We're going to be able to see behind the curtain. Do you understand? This, it makes me almost breathless. It makes me so happy. I can't wait. I'm edge of my seat. Let's go. Let's go. Please hit me up with more hearts. Let's get this out to the FYP, you guys. Whew. So exciting to finally be able to pull these people down and into the light. Holy crap. Bartholomew, well put. Well put. Yep. Still, I'm a very proactive person. And like I said earlier, I want to be able to experience what is true with a capital T. So I'm not satisfied with, here, let me listen to this spiritual teacher or that personal growth teacher or that other person and hear what they have to say and then just take it as a gospel and try to live by it. No, I have to test it. I have to be my testing ground. I have to be the one who goes, how can this be true? How could it work for me? How can I use this? How can I make this practical and applicable for me? So when somebody says to me, honey, just trust your heart, I'm like, you're going to have to define your terms, babe. Because what that means to you could be completely different than what it means for me. And what if I have no idea what it means at all anyway? Like, we've got to stop assuming that we know the language that each of us is speaking. We've been so vanillaized that we have this idea that, oh, yeah, everybody knows what I mean when I say, no, they don't. No, they sure don't. Because they're hearing through their own lens. We're all hearing through our own lens. So my passion is to be extremely clear and to get you to be extremely clear so I know I understand what the fuck you're talking about. I want to understand you. Because if we don't know if we understand each other, what are we doing? Doesn't make any sense. Like, then we have this whole conversation and I go away, I go, she was saying, yeah, exactly. They're hearing through a shared delusion. Well, that's pretty much all the time, isn't it? But, I go away, I go, well, she's awesome. She was talking about XYZ. And the other person goes away and goes, she's a horrible person. I don't like her. Now, here's a really good example from my life. My business, the Goodbye Good Girl Project, right? And it's about teaching women to step into their actual self-image, their power, um, to break the internal rules, the internal training of all of the social shit that we've all been raised in and that women internalize like crazy. Brainwashing. And so I met a woman and she was like, I want to help you. I want to help you get where you're going. And I'm like, really? She goes, oh, yeah, I love what you're doing. I'm like, great. So she's helping me. She's filming me doing something so I can get a video and you were hanging out and having lunch and talking about business because she's also um, an entrepreneurial minded person and trying to do that thing. And about 4 or 5 months later, she comes into a Zoom call that I'm on with like 12 people. And this was a group that I was a part of multiple times a week for like 2 years. And the guy and the woman who were running it were my friends. And she comes in and the guy says to her, hey, such and such, that's your name? Hi, welcome. She goes, yep. And then she goes, that's a stupid hat you're wearing. I'm like, what the fuck? That's a stupid hat. What, you haven't even met him. What the hell are you doing? So I'm sitting there. I'm not able to say anything because she's an adult. She can fry herself if she wants to. And he's an adult. He knows how to take care of himself. But I'm like appalled. So he's like, he's taken a little bit aback, but he's also able to handle himself. And he goes, really? She goes, oh, yeah, baseball caps like that are stupid and blah, blah, blah. So I called her later in the day and I said, what were you doing? That was really rude. She went, no. She goes, guys talk like that to each other all the time. They're always ragging on each other. I said, not when they haven't gotten to know each other. You hadn't even met him yet. She goes, no. That's how guys do it. And I said, First of all, no. And second of all, what do I care how guys do it? Like, what are you talking about?" And she said, "Well, isn't that what your business is about? Teaching us how to be like guys." I, uh, Speechless. I said, "Absolutely not." She went, "Oh, well, then I guess I've been wasting my time and energy. Good luck to you. I'll take my energies elsewhere." I said, "Great. Good luck to you too." It is really, really sad. She's not a happy woman. It is very sad. Thank you for picking up on that. Yeah. And I mean, and she's welcome to come talk to me anytime. I do not hate her. I don't, whatever. I'm not at a place in my life where I'm like, "You bitch, how could you say that?" Mm-mm. But that is a total misunderstanding. And when she said, "Well, I'm just going to take my energies elsewhere," in that moment, I made a determination that I don't regret, which was it would take way too much for me to invest in her to get her to understand. And she's not in the pathway that I have set for me. You know, I have less time to spend on saving the world when I'm saving me. And that way I'll save the parts of the world I can or awaken them or sit with them in TikTok or Substack. Yeah. So we don't understand what each other is saying. We really don't. Um, so all I can really do is to know that I'm doing because I love doing. And apparently Capricorns love to do, and I'm a Capricorn with Cancer rising. So, um, but I can hold an energetic space for people that I feel a kinship with, or a security with, a safety with, or people I'm trying to get to know, whatever. If you prove that you are somebody who hasn't got a soul, basically, I'm not going to be around. It doesn't mean I have to go off on you. I'm just not going to be there. But see, Bartholomew, that's actually the case. I thought it was impossible too. I thought it was impossible too. That's why when I rescued my own self, after 40 years of not having had any goddamn control over my emotions, over my depression and anxiety, none, to suddenly find that I had it. That's what you call a paradigm shift. And when I knew that that was that way, when I knew that this had really happened, when I convinced myself to sit there and go, "Take a look. Is this really happening right now?" Yes. Really. Go see if you can find any of the depression anywhere, any of those beliefs, thoughts, whatever. They're not there. And then much later, many years later, somebody said to me, "You rewired your brain." And that's the work that Joe Dispenza does with meditation and stuff. I'm interested in the intersection of being human while being a spiritual being. I think the game, the way it's been set up, is fucked up. I don't know what God was thinking. Like a little bit of a how-to manual would have been nice, but I think that real how-to manual, um, it was taken over. But now it was taken over by man-made religion and things like that. And if you want your mind to be opened, blown, rendered clean, go watch Bill Donahue, not Phil, Bill, on YouTube. I'll put it in the chat. Just go watch Bill. Start with like number one. He's got all his stuff numbered. He just passed away in January at 91. Fun. He's so much fun. He's freaking brilliant. And he's some guy from New Jersey, so he's got a bit of the accent, and he's just funny. And he talks about how to actually read the sacred texts astrologically from a physics perspective, from did I say astrological? Numerological, um, symbolic. He talks about the fact that the Bible it wasn't written in Pennsylvania. It was actually written in Greece. It was written by people, desert people, and it's all allegorical. It's all allegorical. Not one of those things ever frickin' happened, which is hard. People who've grown up with it going, "But wait, that's the deal. That's what's happening. That's what I'm measuring myself against." They'll fight you tooth and nail. They'll fight you like mad. "Nope. My family has always followed, whatever, you name it." And I understand. I get that. I get it. It's like you have to get to a certain place of being deserted by all of your dogma before you go, "Okay, wait, I've got to find something that actually makes sense to me." Because this shit is supposed to make some fucking sense. You should not need to have blind faith. One of my teachers from India, I bought a greeting card from her probably 30 years ago from her little book stall. And it said something that when I bought the card, I bought it because I didn't understand it. I was in my 30s and I'm going, "What the hell does that mean?" But I took it with me and I still have it sitting on my desk right over there. And the card says, "Real faith is the faith in one's own self." Real faith is the faith in one's own self. What? What the hell? What is that supposed to mean? At the time, mentally ill, um, depressed all the time, lost. Just like, I'm supposed to trust this? Are you freaking kidding me? That's not the same as trusting God. That's not the same as faith in God. No, 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 no. But I kept the card because I was like, because I know, and I knew experientially as well, that when a great being says something, freaking pay attention. You can let it go too. It's not like like what it is. If it has captured your attention, if it has made you go, "Wait, what?" There's something there. There's some marrow you need to suck out of the bones of that. There's something that's calling to you to explore. And I'm like, I'm all in on that shit. Like, let's go. Let's explore. Let's go. Let's look at it. So, okay, first it was like, have faith in myself. How could I possibly have faith in this? As I grew, as I changed, as I did different things, um, suddenly it was, wait a second, I may have a bead on this. Ash Marie, hi, babe. And Shauna, thank you so much for the follow. You guys, please share this out. I would appreciate it very much. My name's Lori. I'm with the Goodbye Good Girl Project, and I'm on TikTok live 6 days a week. Uh, did you really? Holy crap! Woohoo! Ash Marie, girl, you rock my freaking world. Look at that fan club. Do you like my hat, guys? I made it myself without a pattern. Thank you. Thank you. Don't hold your applause, please. I'll take the standing ovation. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Mhm. It's got a tail on it that's way too long. So I can't get near the cats because they'll be like, "Eh." Pull it right off my head. 100 comments. That is badass. Please understand something. You have the right and the responsibility to question the things in your life. It doesn't mean you have to doubt them. But if you really, really, really want to understand what it means that, oh, I'm a co-creator of my reality. What does that mean? "Oh, well, it means that, you're part of God." No. Have you experienced it? Have you experienced it? I don't know. Well, then you haven't experienced it. That's okay. But know the difference between I understand something and I get it. I want to get it. See, the truth that I have uncovered, you don't have to agree with me, but this is the truth I've uncovered is for myself is the divine is energy. It's the highest, purest love, light energy. And it is so freaking strong. It has kept us from blowing ourselves up over the last however many years, right? Because left to our own devices without that positive energy in the world, which is that much stronger than the dark, we're so freaking good at dark. We would have blown this entire kingdom up a long time ago. So we're made of that stuff. It's like the great knitter in the sky came along and took all that God energy and went, let's make a person. Let's make an animal. Let's make an insect, right? Oh, you mean you're talking physics? You're talking like energy and vibrational reality, yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Well, why would you say I'm vibrating? I'm a body. Yeah, no, you're not. You're atoms. You're actually atoms, and atoms vibrate. And understand that because atoms are made of energy and you are made of atoms, you are made of energy. There is potential. We are infinite potential, Shauna. We are infinite potential. And that's where I want us to start to question it in a way where we want the actual answer. What do you mean I've got infinite potential? What do you mean like I can't get the job and right? Like there's a disconnect here, wouldn't you say? There's a disconnect. I don't have the job or I don't have the money or I don't have the lover or I don't have the wife or the husband or the blah blah blah, whatever it is we want. I don't have the health. What do you mean there's infinite potential? What does that mean? And if it's true, how do I get some of that? Because what I learned is that there's so much in the dogma that we've learned, whether it's social, religious, political, doesn't matter, that we've taken, oh God, all of it as being truth with a capital T, and it's not truth with a capital T. It's social truth. The world is what it is. Bullshit. That is complete and total bullshit. If that were true, the world would have not never progressed from Gilgamesh in the, Middle Ages or before. No, the world is what it is. Well, but wait, it could still change, Lori. It could still change just because things change. Exactly my point. Things change. Well, what makes them change? I don't know. I guess the world just does that. Really, are you satisfied with that answer? I think it's very complex and beautiful. And I think it's about energy and divinity and our free will and our emotional settings. And I know from my own experience, because I did this and I've done this a number of times, I can actually change my mood and change my whole day at will. I didn't say it was easy, but I can do that. Can you do that? I'm not talking about, oh, let me just go avoid it or let me, just F off. I'm talking about I understand the technology of it. I understand the vibrational technology of it. And so I understand that you have that too. You have it. When you stand in a moment in time where you think to yourself, "This is bullshit." Somebody's treating you a certain way and you're like, "I don't like this. I don't like this person." Even just opening yourself inside, going, "Okay, I'm not gonna, like, clamp down. Instead, I'm gonna go, 'Yeah, this is bullshit,' and I'm gonna leave a little bit of space open for something amazing and different to happen." If it doesn't, oh well, you still gave yourself some energy that you didn't have before to, "Oh, look over there, there's something fantastic. Let me go that way. Let me get out of here." The other thing that can happen is the situation can completely freaking change. You've gone through it, you've seen it, you've lived it. You just may not have done it deliberately. I was once in, graduate school in linguistics, and there was a teacher. I was very afraid of this guy. And then one night, and, like, I was always awkward around him, always awkward, and he was awkward back, like, we were just like, "Meh." And then one night I had a dream that he and I were in love, and he looked like a movie guy I knew from the '80s. Um, and when I woke up, I had this soft, total change of, attitude towards the guy, and I had a meeting with him that day in his office that had been scheduled a week earlier. And I went to the office, and I just didn't even bother to shake that feeling. I just felt like I was going to go see a lover or past lovers that I wasn't mad at anymore or something like that. And that meeting was so incredible. I saw his reaction change because mine was different. That's the energy you have. So, would you like to learn where your power is, or would you like to keep banging your head against the wall going, "Why is the stuff that my parents taught me not working?" when it's never worked? And I know what I've chosen. So, uh, Teresa, thank you for the roses. You're awesome. Um, I'm going to jump off now. I'm back here tomorrow at 4 p.m. And thank you so, so much for being with me. I really appreciate all of you. The dark is man-made, Bartholomew. Yeah, but yes, and I have a yes and to that one. And Bartholomew, thank you so much. And Shauna, thank you. And all of you who've been like commenting, thank you, thank you, thank you so very much. I'm back here tomorrow at 4. Then on Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern, I talk about the Bible stuff, the spiritual, the mystical, the practical. See you tomorrow, Teresa. Yay. Have a good night, everybody, okay? Okay. Love and Moxie. See ya. Bye, Substack. There we go.